If Crystal Palace's 2023-24 season had to be described in one word, it would be a roller coaster. A comfortably mid-table team over the years, they found themselves alarmingly close to the relegation scuffle by February 2024. In came Oliver Glasner, and from 15th place in the table, Palace finished in the top half by the end of the season. The Austrian manager came in to replace the familiar face of Roy Hodgson, who had decided to step down after mounting health issues. The Palace faithful will always have a soft spot for Roy Hodgson, but there were growing concerns about his ability to dig them out of relegation trouble. Oliver Glasner came in to manage Palace from the free market. His last stint as manager ended with Eintracht Frankfurt in June 2023. After an 8-month-long break, he chose Crystal Palace as the best opportunity to make a comeback. Even though he only managed the team for 13 games, the signs are extremely promising. The biggest looming task for Glasner, as well as the club over the 2024 summer window, is to hold on to their star players and further strengthen their squad with smart, Brighton-like signings. The sale of Michael Olise will allow them some flexibility in the transfer market as well. So what do these 13 games and Glasner's managerial history tell us? Can we expect Crystal Palace to be the dark horse next season? Let's unravel the Palace expectations and break down their upcoming season under this exciting manager. Oliver Glasner played professionally in Austria in the 90s till 2012 and made over 500 appearances in defence for his club SV Ried. After an injury forced him to retire, he tried his hand in management with Red Bull Salzburg as their assistant manager, after which he managed his former sides SV Ried and then LASK. He got LASK promoted and finished second with them before his talents were spotted in the Bundesliga and he moved to Wolfsburg. He had an impressive 2-year-long stint and then went to Frankfurt, where he again stayed for a couple seasons. The end of his Frankfurt tenure came with speculations of being too rigid with ideas, even though they weren't working well on the pitch. Eventually, differences with the club's vision led to his departure in June 2023. He took his time off from football, developing ideas and visions off the pitch before Crystal Palace came knocking in February 2024. What was earlier considered a safety from relegation job turned into an exciting spectacle over the last few months of the Premier League. He came prepared and instilled his possession-based identity almost immediately. It was a surprisingly quick turnaround from the way Palace were set up under Roy Hodgson, which made it all the more impressive. Their season ended in spectacular fashion after Palace went on a 3-game winning streak to close out the campaign. They demolished Manchester United 4-0 and ended the season with a 5-0 thrashing of Emery's Aston Villa. Glasner has managed Wout Weghorst and Kolo Muani in the past and turned them into productive machines up top. The main man up front for Palace, Mateta, showed up for him in the conclusive end of the season. Mateta has also performed brilliantly at the Paris Olympics and will be a joy to watch under Glasner's leadership next season. The only missing link would be Michael Olise, whose replacement should now be top priority for Crystal Palace. After a history of managers like Tony Pulis, Sam Allardyce and Neil Warnock, Palace have broken free from the shackles of old-fashioned, pragmatic managers with the arrival of Glasner. The 13 games and 29 goals that have come under him are a good representation of what to expect from his attacking outlook. They managed a 1-0 win over Klopp's Liverpool in April and displayed a defensive masterclass. So if attack and defense looks foundationally solid, what should we expect next? Firstly, even though it's a solid representation, the 13-game display is still a relatively small sample size. But that's not to say that Crystal Palace aren't clicking amazingly. In possession, Glasner likes to set up in a 3-4-3 in possession, which is filled with dynamic roles for specific players to allow for a fluid build-up. This means that a back three will rotate possession at the back, while the wing-backs stretch the pitch on their side. Both wingbacks are capable of duties up and down the pitch, especially Munoz on the right wing. A double pivot of holding midfielders is deployed narrowly to create a box midfield and overload numbers in the centre to allow the ball to travel up the pitch without too much pressure. The centre forward is tasked with making runs beyond the last line and stretching the opposition backline vertically. The other role is to drop deeper and link up with the midfielders to again create a numerical advantage in the middle of the pitch. The goalkeeper is required to be comfortable on the ball, and Dean Henderson fills up this role as well as required. When the goalkeeper gets involved in the build-up, it allows both wingbacks to travel further up the pitch and keep the opposition backline engaged. Out of the 3 up front, there will be 2 technically sound 10s and 1 striker. The last season saw Eze and Elise fill these number 10 roles to perfection. A lot of threatening attacks travelled through them. Elise has left the club, but Eze is brilliant in half spaces and is a joy to watch as he glides past defenders. Without the ball, the Palace side has proved to be extremely adaptive against sides of a different calibre. They put up a fantastic low block against Liverpool and managed a 1-0 victory. Usually against sides with similar strength on paper, Palace can comfortably shift to a mid-block and have great discipline while triggering a press up the field. They stay in a somewhat compact 5-2-3 or 5-4-1 out of possession and patiently wait to squeeze possession out of the opposition. Their counter-press is very effective after losing the ball up the pitch. The 3 at the back gives the players in front freedom to press up high and force an error or turnover from the opposition. The wingbacks are extremely important in this setup as they contain wide attacks with one of the holding midfielders travelling to whichever wing the ball is being played through. It's hard to penetrate through the centre of a disciplined Palace setup, and early crosses are confidently dealt with by the 3 aerially dominant centre-backs. Marc Guéhi is a highly rated gem, and his exploits at Euro 2024 have shown his ability to the world. Anderson is another calming presence in the backline. American centre-back Chris Richards has also solidified his spot in the starting 11 under Glasner. Dean Henderson has made the number 1 spot his very own at Palace. The former Manchester United goalkeeper is adept at playing out from the back and has great reflexes when it comes to shot stopping. He commands his area well and will start at the back this season. Sam Johnston is a capable backup for him. The 3 centre-backs to start should be Marc Guéhi on the left, Anderson through the centre, and the right centre-back spot is still unsure, with Nathaniel Klein the best bet for it. In the pre-season friendlies, Richards was deployed at the right wing-back position, which might make a compelling enough argument to start him over Klein at right centre-back. New signing Shadi Riyad and club legend Joel Ward will provide depth in the squad for the back line. The 2 wing-backs are decided with Tyrick Mitchell on the left and Daniel Munoz on the right. Ward and Richards can fill in the right wing-back role in the absence of Munoz. The 2 holding midfielders ought to be rising star Adam Wharton alongside Doucouré or Hughes. Wharton will be the heartbeat for Palace in the middle and has proved his worth last season. He is extremely comfortable receiving the ball and very calm in possession. He also has an eye for a visionary through ball or a diagonal switch to make quick transitions in attack. Will Hughes is a seasoned player in the Premier League, and what he might lack athletically, he makes up for his smart positioning and composed passing. Lerma will also provide solid depth from the bench, but Palace could do with a solid midfielder signing to increase their depth in the centre. The striker will be Mateta, who came up as a pleasant surprise under Glasner last season. Even though he has made appearances for Palace before, his game suddenly became much more effective with the current Palace setup. The 2 number 10s will be Eze on the left and new signing Kamada from the right to fill the Elise-shaped hole. Kamada came on a free transfer and will be an exciting watch under Glasner. Jordan Ayew and Jeffrey Schlupp can provide depth in these positions. Ayew can be played across the front 3. He is that versatile and a veteran in the Premier League. 21-year-old Raksaki is an exciting talent who will get minutes on the right side of this attack. This Palace side under Glasner should be one of the best teams to follow from a neutral perspective. Their end to the season was as good as the elite sides in the league, and if they can recapture their form, an Aston Villa-like charge isn't a distant dream at all. But that being said, hopes should be contained until the end of the season. Palace need to strengthen a few positions urgently and keep a hold of their stars like Eze and Guéhi. The potential arrival of Wilfried Zaha back on loan will be a huge boost for the Palace fans as well as their squad. It's a long season ahead, but Glasner looks determined to reach new heights with Crystal Palace. So do you think Palace will live up to the hype? Are they already assured of a top half finish at least? Let us know in the comments below.